Ready to rock and roll? Well, I'm back. Which one am I looking at? You. All right, here we go. It's continuation here. Latter part of week 3, moving into week 4. And we're still focused completely on stability, strength, and bit of unilateral kind of focus with that. However, I am going to try to start pressing the weight a bit, especially kind of building my way up with incline bench here today so we can start horizontal pressing, but now a little bit closer to vertical pressing heavy. I am going to try to include the slingshot, which gives me a little bit of that help initially with the elastic energy that it's captured to help kind of give me that initial lift off. And I like that because it's like a progressive way to help me increase load, but get me to acclimate a bit more to the heavier weight. So there's a couple strategies with that. Variable resistance is what they call that, and I do that with adding rubber bands for deadlifts, rubber bands for squats, for bench press, for overhead press. Overhead press a little bit. I actually tried overhead press over the weekend with the slingshot, and it was like a no-go. So that's not going to happen because I go up and then hit myself right in the face. So that's not going to happen, but I am going to do it with the incline press. So that's definitely on the agenda. The rest of it, a little bit more instability with the rings, with Bulgarian split squat, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to it. Okay. So let's go first here and revisit a few of these. I'm going to go ahead and do a bit more of what is kind of is a bit more of a windmill, but I'm using the stick and bending it so I can add a little resistance to that. Get me to add tension. Open everything up. All right. QL. I constantly have to remind myself that's a vulnerable spot. And something I'm always trying to prime going into my workouts. All right, I just realized there's no music. I mean, I guess I did that one time, right? We did a workout without music, and that sucked. So I'm just going to take a second here to get my playlist going. This is where we apply like the, what was that, the Jeopardy music? At least some Danzig, right? Let's get this going. So another one that we kind of worked on was our snake reach. And I need to get that T-spine rotation happening. So this is a good one for that. It really gets that lateral line. Lean into it. I just relieve a bit of pressure and tension, and then I get right back into it, and that's how I turn it into reps, mobility reps, and not static stretch. Another great one to address the QL, though. I'll tell you what. And you want to squeeze your glutes for it so I get even more hip flexor activation. So comfortable. Okay. Other side. Move that anchor point. Lean into it. Man, this side is awkward as hell. Fun for the whole family. Ooh. All right, last one in our little mobility sequence here. We're gonna just do our pull aparts. Now, common misstep with this is to allow your back to arch. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to bend the elbows. I want to grab it just wide enough so I can keep good extension in my arms, keep my glutes tight, stomach tight, and don't move. Allow that rotation to happen with tension, so I'm still kind of pulling outward with my hands as I grip it. This is all going to pay off down the road, I swear. A little AC/DC, got my shirt, except I'm keeping it real. That's what's happening today. I'm a real one. Now, I do like swinging clubs and mace bells beginning of the workout sequence before I get fatigued. And two, I like to get it sort of primed that way as well. The rotation to respond when I'm doing any kind of pressing movements, so I feel like I have more stability. So that's one justification. The other one is that at the end, just kind of building up more volume in my shoulders, so I can do it a little bit under fatigue. So if I probably go a little lighter, but this is like 20 pounds or so. Actually, I'm getting a company shipping me one that's like 50 pounds, so I'm excited about that. So hopefully that shows up in this series and we can kind of swing around some real weight. Biggest things with that is to keep my lower body anchored, so try not to bend the knees too much, try not to swing the hips too much. It's really the upper torso, and try to stay nice and controlled amidst the chaos. But I love swinging weight. Calm down. No shit. Here we go. Round two. So today, I think this is the first one I didn't have lunch beforehand. And then Sal convinced me to try some ketone supplement. So I'm a little weird right now, energy-wise. No excuses, but it's different. So we'll see how this energy thing plays out later with my strength. I mean, I like Elvis, but why is this on this playlist? Somebody tell me that. Nope, Johnny Cash too. All right, let's get into some incline press. Oh, get a good warm up setting here. Just enough to get it going. We'll stick with our 3 to 5 rep kind of range. Iron weights. We need to get more of these, don't we? I'm gonna take it off of this. If you guys didn't know though, we have personal trainers now that we're developing in-house. Pretty cool thing, I'll be honest. The only not cool thing about it is they gotta clean up after them sometimes, so yeah. Oh. So I'm breaking the rules and I'm doing facing out today. Just feel like being a rebel. Let's put some clips on there because I just don't trust myself. Okay, 3 to 5 reps. So I'm gonna try and do this and we'll get up to like 275, maybe 315. Then I'm gonna put on the slingshot for that just to get myself moving in that trajectory. But again, the point of this whole thing is to just gradually move myself forward and do it systematically and not emotionally like I normally do. Like today I'm gonna rip it. Sometimes, I mean, you do feel it, like, and you'll notice if you ever do any HRV and you've paid attention to that and logged it yourself, you'll have some days where you're just fully recovered and charged and ready for output. And then some days you're not, and then that's somewhat of a metric that's helpful to kind of help you identify that. However, if you've lifted weights a long time, you pay attention to your body's natural signals, you can kind of feel that out on your own. But I'm trying to kind of fight that tendency and to do less than I normally would. Oh my God, this is a banjo. Dylan, I gotta do a better job of like pre-qualifying these playlists. Okay, AC/DC is cool. It's an AC/DC day. I should just keep all AC/DC. Gotta pay attention to that leg drive. Use the core. No bad reps, right? Done dirt cheap. Okay, we're gonna jump up 50 pounds. And we're gonna add the slingshot because I want to impress Jerry. That's my goal. So how much help does it really give? Not too sure. Feels like about 10, 15 pounds maybe sometimes. Well, it feels a little awkward putting it on, but once you get it there, it makes sense. My arms are getting too big for this though. But you see a lot of guys wear bench shirts, and there was a guy that recently broke the bench press record, and he was all suited up and had that. It's a really tense elastic suit, and it basically protracts you. Like, it's crazy to even pull back and get in the retracted position with your shoulders because it's so much resistance pulling you forward, which helps. But again, I understand, because when you're lifting close to 1,000-pound bench press, you don't want your arms to just rip off your body. So I get it. Okay, let's do it. This is restricted. Okay, so I couldn't even get it all the way down because it pinched so much, so that's annoying. I'm gonna try that again, but I'm gonna have to bring this up a little bit higher. There we go.
It's the damn process, man.
I'm telling you, dude. There we go.
This is my kind of job.
You too worried those nails are gonna sit in? There we go. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
On the back.
Yeah, there we go. Wow. Let's hope it made that inch difference there.
Your veins are starting to go crazy.
I'm all occluded now.
I got a shot of that.
If you're a nurse, how excited are you right now? It's stopping an inch too short, so even right here, I don't think I can go. Maybe I gotta get a bigger one of these. We'll try, but I might just throw this out. Throw this out and just do it by itself. Oh my God, I'm losing circulation. Here we go. Let's go. Let's get it done. Dude, okay. Here we go. Okay. Angry. There we go. Let's do without it, because yeah, I'm gonna take it off. It's pinching my. Thank you. You got the right idea. Ooh, that pinched. Thank you guys. Whew. Ouchie. All right, let's rest and then see if I could do this without any help. That's gonna be a fun little experiment. Easy. Okay, I could do a lot more, but I'm gonna let it breathe. Speaking of efficiency, are you doing everything you can to optimize your body? Do I have the label upside down? Yes, I do. This is Promethean. This is one of the sponsors of this series, and they sent me 4 different bioregulators to help with recovery. And there's the muscle one, there's our blood vessel, there's our cartilage, and there's our bone marrow. And so in combination of 4, I'll take it before and then after the workouts. And you guys should really go check them out and try and optimize your efforts there in the gym as well. I'm gonna rest a bit, and we're gonna do some Bulgarians. So if you don't have one of these attachments for your PRX squat rack, you are missing out. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. One of the most uncomfortable ways the Bulgarian squat is on top of a box or a bench. Lame. This is what you need. Wrap that foot all the way over that pad. Fits like a glove. Because not a lot of people like Bulgarian split squats, apparently. Marcelo hates them, and wished every trainer who prescribed them would, for eternity, have to smell the inside of a protein shaker cup that was left out in the sun. And we all know what that smells like. Whenever you've avoided a lot of split stance squatting or lunges, it's kind of a bitch to get back into it, I'll be honest. So I understand that. Women a lot of times way better than men. I used to get my butt kicked by girlfriends in the past when we'd work out. I'd do the backloaded squats heavy, and then we'd move on to Bulgarians, and I'd be like, eh. It was embarrassing. So don't be embarrassed. Put them in your programming. Okay. I'm gonna front load in the rack position. And I'm gonna do it on the side with my leg back. Get stability, then we drop it down. Ooh, I don't like it on that side. I don't like it. We're gonna run it back with the worst side this time. I'm gonna listen to my own advice. I rarely do that, but I make a lot of good points, and should really consider them. Your least favorite side, let's do that first. Let's set the tone. Helps to kind of determine the pacing with it. Helps you so you're not fatigued, so you get a little more control. Just part of you psychologically wants to just get to it, and so you get in with that stronger side. Like I was telling you earlier, it's more annoying being intentional about every little thing, but it pays off down the road. It's just, let's go. I want to rip it out. Let's go. It's that right cheek. Ooh. Make sure you have a good partner that massages you at night. It's a little bonus tip. I used to actually trade sessions with a client who's a masseuse just to maintain. I was really training at high intensity, high volume. There's no way I would have been able to do that for as long as I did without somebody helping kind of manage that for me. So it's definitely something to consider if you train heavy and you train consistently a lot. So extend the life of your intense training. And then you got to be more reasonable, which cool, I can do that, but this stuff's more fun to me. Maybe it's more fun for some of you guys. I like getting after it. Haven't done it in a while. Starting to feel like it's coming back, so it's never too late. Ooh, this side. This is the side. I'll tell you what though, these will bring a good 10 to 20 pounds more into your squat. Nice stable hips make a world of a difference. %. Especially if you really pay attention to the cues where you're pushing and driving your knee into the ground and you're really intensively squeezing your muscles and pulling yourself towards the ground. It can be really taxing. You get so much more out of it that way too, and it's hard as a coach to see if your client's really putting forth the amount of effort that's required. But you get good at it over time because you read people and they have certain facial expressions, certain breathing patterns. Their eyes kind of look in a certain direction. So these are all constant body cues and communication that I'm looking for as a coach to see whether or not to add or pull back. And it's not something you master right out of the gates. It definitely comes with time, but I mean, I remember being a little bit oblivious to that and seeing a lady pass out on me before, but had told me she hadn't eaten much, and I didn't realize she didn't eat anything and didn't really drink anything, and it was a hot day. And we did minimal exercises in terms of effort, but it was just one of those perfect storm situations where I could, now in hindsight, I could remember her eyes sort of glazed over and staring off into space, her breathing patterns kind of changing, and then sort of the look for stability and getting in balance, and then she kind of made her way to a wall and passed out and kind of slid down the wall. It was just really scary for me as a coach, and we got her taken care of, but really just lack of hydration, electrolyte balance off, so no food or anything prior. So definitely something to consider if you're a coach or a trainer, and in general, if you're going to the gym, if you notice somebody and you can kind of see some of those signs, to really pay attention to that and make sure, people are not out there to hurt themselves. Anyways, that's a downer of a subject. We're gonna go ahead and move on to some ring rows. So just like the TRX, there's ways to increase intensity, and that's where I place my feet. So the further in I bring my feet, the more intense we go. And sometimes I even like to increase that further by adding a box to elevate my feet, and then I can dip down nice and low, which I will go ahead and do, because otherwise this is kind of a weak sauce exercise. I just love the rings because it challenges you from all planes of motion. So this can move circular, and you really have to kind of pull intensively, bringing the rings into the body. Not quite as hard as you do with ring dips. That's about as challenging as you get, besides a iron cross. But this is a fun way to do rows anyway. Let's see, let's get myself a little more. Ooh, then that locks up there, which is even better. Boom. So much of lifting heavy is psychological. I think that's why I'm trying my best to put effort on conditioning my brain to normalize heavier weight, especially above my head. So I found that to be the biggest limiting factor. A lot of times I'm strong enough to do certain lifts, but I just have a natural limiter in my own mind. So considering that, if this is your goal to ever hit a PR in something, introduce it light, introduce it often, and then just sharpen. Keep stacking load, give yourself, some aided support if you need to, so you're not taxing yourself too much, but just condition yourself to practice frequently so it's not foreign. Because when it's foreign, it's a shock, and then you exert too much energy. You're not efficient with your energy. All this stuff is just to build volume in my support system. I want a nice healthy shoulder girdle, and the rhomboids are a big part of that, and the lats and the traps. So here we go. And rotate, because I love it. 2, 3, full range of motion. 4. All right, rest. So since we're doing volume, I'm gonna add some lateral raises, throwing a bodybuilder move in here, why not? Whoa! Creatine. Yet another thing the bodybuilders had right. And so convenient. We want to hit the deltoids from all kinds of different directions here. And that's how we're going to finish it out for today. Should I just do this in front of the mirror and be a total bro? Lateral raises on a platform. I feel like this is like a cardinal sin. Forgive me, training gods. So you notice some exercises I'll go a little higher rep because they just don't make any sense for me to do low rep, higher load. That's one of those. We want a nice smooth repetition and just enough to stimulate those muscles. I could go a little heavier for sure, but then my form would degrade. Like the last exercise too, we're kind of just building up volume, so I'm not quite as interested in going super heavy with that. I guess I could probably have put a weight vest on for the body weight rows, but I find those to kind of be pointless. Well, let's just row with the barbell at that point. Okay, let's be effective about it. I enjoy the full range of motion and the fluid movement there. That's still getting a bit of hypertrophy and strength. So, not purely a 3 to 5 rep range workout. So. It varies based off of isolating movements or less demanding movements. Anyway, you don't even care, do you? We'll do one more set and I'm good. Plus a nice slow tempo, full range of motion. My vision is finally complete. Although I did have a heavy bag there initially. Had a little MMA section. 'Cause at one point I did some Muay Thai and it was fun. Maybe we'll bring that back in another series. I don't know though.
Getting Justin ready for an amateur fight.
Yeah, only if you can organize me versus Gavin Newsom. If you guys can make that happen, I will do it. All right, last set. Burned them up. And that's all she wrote today, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to tell you to always remember, stay authentic, whatever that may be.